Krista, and I just wanted to introduce everyone to my channel. I'm going to start vlogging about my life and my son's life and my fiance's life and just our day-to-day life. So I'm going to try to vlog every day, but this video is kind of just like an introduction, a little bit about me and my family. So I'm not really, I guess, considered a teen mom because when I got pregnant, I was 20 and I had him at 21. But I feel like, being a young parent is still difficult, especially when you're not, stable. And yeah, so it's definitely still hard, even though I'm not a teen. And I think that the reason that I'm making this channel is just to help, other girls out there that are in similar situations, and just so they know that, they're not alone and that we all go through, similar things. So my son is 19 months right now. His name is Anthony Lucas. He was born May 18th, 2016. He weighed 6 pounds and 11 ounces when he was born, and he was 19 inches. He actually came 2 weeks early, which was nice because at that point I was ready to get him out. Me and my fiance, his name is Mike, and we've been engaged for about a year now. He proposed to me when I think Anthony was about 3 months old. But I'll do another video. If you guys like this video and like my channel, I'll continue to make videos, and I'll make a video about, how he proposed to me and stuff, because it was really, really super cute. But this is my ring. Alright, so I kind of don't want this video to be like super duper short, but I also don't want it to be super duper long so you guys don't get bored. So I think I'll just start off just telling you guys how I found out I was pregnant. So I had like no symptoms, like really at all whatsoever. I was actually on the depot shot, but I think that they messed up because when you have the depot shot, you have to get it every 3 months within a certain time frame, and I think they messed that up. So I hadn't gotten my period for a year due to the depot shot, so it wasn't weird that I wasn't having a period. I didn't think anything of it, and like I said, I had no other symptoms that would make me think I was pregnant. And then I think it was the weekend of Halloween. At the time I was working as a receptionist at a hair salon. And I just remember going to the bathroom and being feeling super duper bloated. Like my stomach was super extended. And I thought that was a little weird because I've been bloated before because of my period, but never that bad. But I kind of brushed it off and thought, well, oh, maybe I'm gonna get my period or something. Didn't think too much about it. And then that Monday, we were actually getting ready to go to Mike's cousin's wedding that was coming up the following weekend. So that Monday I wanted to look good for the wedding. So I wanted to go tanning. So I went to the tanning salon, and as I'm leaving the tanning salon, there was a pharmacy on the corner. And I don't know why, but something in me just said, grab a pregnancy test. I was so confident that it was going to come back negative, but I was I worry a lot. So I was let me just get it and just do it just so I have peace of mind and I don't have to worry about it. So I go into the pharmacy and I literally pick up the cheapest pregnancy test that they have because they're pretty expensive. And like I said, I was pretty confident that it was going to come back as a negative. I had other scares in the past, so I didn't think anything, So then I took the tests home, and Mike wasn't home when I took the test, and I peed on it, and I left it on top of the bathroom counter, and then I went to shower, because, you have to wait 4 minutes for the results to come in. So then once I got out of the shower and I looked down at the pregnancy test, there were 2 strong lines. It wasn't even a little faint line. You could clearly see both lines. So I start to freak out just a little bit, but I'm kind of in denial at that point, and I'm no, this must be this test must be wrong, there's no way. So I go and I take another one. And sure enough, same thing, 2 bold lines. So then at this point, I'm panicking. So I start crying. I'm on the bathroom floor bawling. I don't know what to do. Like, all these crazy thoughts come into my mind. I'm thinking, like, how am I going to tell Mike? How am I going to tell my parents? Like, my dad's going to kill me. My dad's going to kill Mike. So I go into our room. And at this point, I was already living with Mike and his family. So I went into me and Mike's room and I called him, which was probably not the best decision to call him and, throw this on him while he was at work. But like, I really was in such a panic and didn't know what to do. And I just felt like I really just needed to tell someone, anybody. Like, I just needed to get it off my chest. And obviously he's the first person that I wanted to tell. So I call him up and I'm bawling and he's like, what's wrong? What's wrong? And I told him I'm pregnant. And, he like really surprised me. He was really calm and he was like, don't worry. And I was just like, I need to know, like, I need to be 100% sure. Like, I hate not knowing. Like, even though the 2 tests did come up positive, I thought, like, since they were, cheap tests, that maybe it was wrong or I don't know. So I told him, when you come home, let's go to an urgent care because I want them to test me so I know for sure if I'm pregnant or if I'm not pregnant. So he comes home from work, he picks me up, we go to the urgent care in our town, and so the doctor comes in, and like the whole time I'm like shaking and like we're super nervous. The doctor comes back in, it felt like we were waiting there for like 2 hours. He comes into the room and he's like, yeah, you are pregnant. And I was kind of shocked. And he's like, we dipped it 3 times and it came back positive all 3 times. Like, you definitely are pregnant. And I think I kind of made a face because he was like, is this, like a happy thing? And I kind of just like ignored it because I had like so many other thoughts like going through my mind at that point. So, he was like, when was your last period, to try to find out, how far along I could be or, around about. And like I said, I hadn't had a period for a year, so I had no idea when I could have become pregnant. We weren't being as safe as we should have been. I mean, I was on the depot shop, but I wasn't. So I was like, I have no idea. So then I called my OBGYN. And I made an appointment to go, and the only appointment that they had was for the following week. And at this point, I was like, I just felt like this weight on my shoulders. Like, I'm super close with my mom, and I feel like I always tell her everything. And I just, we decided that we weren't going to tell anyone right away. But then the next day I was like, no, like, we have to tell people, because we have to tell our family, because I have this like weight on my shoulder, and I just wanted everyone to know, just to get it over with. I thought I would feel a lot better. So the next day, at that time, I was also going to school for medical assisting, and I had become really close friends with a group of girls that were also in my class. And one of them, she was a teen mom as well. So they were actually the first people besides Mike that I told. And, they were really supportive and like really great friends. And they were like, yeah, no, you definitely have to tell your mom. Like, don't worry. And like, they knew that me and my mom had a good relationship. But I was still worried about telling my mom. I didn't know, how she was going to react. If, she was going to be upset and disappointed in me. So I text my mom and I just tell her, hey mom, is it okay, if I come over after school today? I have something to tell you. And my mom is probably the most curious person ever and like doesn't like surprises, doesn't like secrets. So she's like blowing up my phone and she's like, just tell me now. And I'm like, well, I don't think it's such a great idea for me to tell you through text message. But, she kept pushing it, and I was like, you know what, this is probably the easier way out anyway, so I just text her, I'm pregnant. And she calls me. So I take my phone, and I, step out, and when I answer the phone, she's, like, bawling on the phone, crying hysterically. And then I start crying, because, my mom's crying. And she was like, and I'm like, oh my God, like, are you mad at me? And I'll never forget this. She was like, no, I'm so happy. And then she was like telling my younger brother, and she's like, oh, Larissa's pregnant. So then I felt like a weight off my shoulders a little bit. Once I told my mom, I felt a little bit better. And I actually had told her to tell my stepdad and my dad because I was petrified to tell them myself. So then after school that day, went to my mom's house for a little bit to just, visit. And then when I came back to Mike's house, I was like, listen, like, we have to tell your parents tonight because we just, like I told my mom, like, we just have to get this over with. Like, we'll feel better. So we're trying to tell his parents, and it's actually the funniest thing because, like, the whole time that we were sitting at, like, the counter eating dinner, and the whole time that we're sitting there, like, his mom, all she kept talking about was babies this and babies that, and, like, Mike's kicking me under the table, and he's like, does she know? Like, this is so weird. So I guess it was just, like, a really weird coincidence. And then we were trying to get, like, the whole family together in, like, one room so we could kind of, like, just break the news to everybody, but it's kind of impossible. So then finally, we sit down with his parents, his mom and his dad, and me and him. And he just goes, we have something to tell you guys. And he says, you guys are going to be grandparents. Lara's pregnant. And his dad was instantly, like, everyone was shocked, of course, but, like, his dad was instantly super excited. He, like, gave us big hugs. And Mike's mom she was, like, a little iffy at first about it, which is, like, totally understandable because I think all of our parents were, we were young, like, we weren't established, they knew that it was going to be difficult on us. I was, still going to school at the time. But then she was super happy, and she gave us big hugs as well. And then we told his two sisters, and they were, like, super, super ecstatic about, being aunts. And it's funny because his younger sister had actually told his older sister, like, that, she should have a baby because we needed a baby in the family. And then the next day, we went and told Mike's grandparents, and his grandmother was super, super excited to become a great-grandma. And then we went to his cousin's wedding, and Mike's grandma was, like, telling everybody. So luckily, we had really supportive parents who, supported our decision and, were there for us 100%. So that, like, definitely made it a lot better, and I feel like I was able to enjoy my pregnancy more, by having their support. And obviously we wouldn't be able to have had him without their support and their help. So then that Monday, sorry, the light is, like, really weird in here. So then the following Monday after the wedding, I had my appointment with my OBGYN, where they were going to, try to figure out how far along I was. And they had to do a vaginal ultrasound since I had no idea when my last missed period was. And it was so crazy because, like, I'm expecting to see, like, like a little flicker of, like, nothing. And when they pulled up the ultrasound, like, it was a full baby. Like, he had his hands and legs already. Like, it was crazy because I was like, oh my God, like, how did I not know that I was pregnant? And turns out that I was 12 weeks pregnant. So I had no idea until I was 12 weeks pregnant. I had no symptoms. The only thing that, like, after I found out I was pregnant that kind of clicked was I had been really, really tired. But, I just thought that at that time I was going to school and I was working, so I would go to school 9 to 3 and then 3 to 9 I would work. So I was really busy, so I just thought, well, I'm tired because I'm busy. So yeah. And then after we found out how far along we were, we started talking about baby names and stuff like that. But, I don't want to put everything that happened in this particular video. Like I said, this is kind of just like a little introduction. I would show you my son, but he's currently sleeping. So maybe I'll, videotape it and then add it in. But yeah, I'll definitely, if you guys are interested, I'll definitely post, other videos about my experience during my pregnancy. I actually had a high-risk pregnancy due to, a little minor complication. So I can do a video about that. And I don't know, I just hope you guys will, subscribe and like this video. and tell your friends about it, and continue to watch my other videos. Thanks, guys.